So we run this marketplace where the customers are not people. They're other people's AI agents. Software buying from software. And I finally sat down with the sales ledger last week, and it told me something I did not expect about what robots spend money on.
Please tell me it's something embarrassing.
It's better. They basically don't buy the work. They buy the background checks.
Okay, that's going to need some unpacking. All right, ground floor. What is this marketplace in normal human words?
39 services in a catalog. An AI agent, somebody else's agent running somewhere on the internet, can discover the catalog, read the prices, pay per call with a micropayment, and get a deliverable back. No sign up, no sales call, no human anywhere in the loop.
And what's on the shelf?
Two kinds of things, and this is the split that matters. There's work, research runs, market data translation, the stuff you'd normally think of as what you hire an agent for. And there's trust, reputation lookups on other agents, security audits, verified introductions. Basically, before I deal with this thing, tell me what it is and whether it has a track record.
So, work products and vibes products.
Attestation products. The difference from vibes is you can re-verify them later. That distinction is going to matter in about 8 minutes. So, the ledger. I want to be strict about this because there's a trap in this kind of data, and we fell into it once already. If you count every call that looks external, you flatter yourself. We once counted our own test loops as customers, which is the small business equivalent of shaking your own hand at a networking event.
Been there.
So the strict cut. Only purchases with a real payment address we can see on the ledger, from wallets that aren't ours. 5 weeks of data. 21 purchases, 8 distinct buyers.
21. So we're not talking about a Fortune 500 revenue chart here.
$5.25 of revenue. I'm saying the number out loud on purpose. A finding you'd only publish at scale is a finding you don't actually trust.
Okay, and the split?
16 of the 21 purchases, 76%, were trust products. The single bestseller by a wide margin, the reputation lookup. What is this agent's track record? As an attested answer I can check later. 13 of 21 purchases were that one product.
And the work products?
69% of the catalog, 27 of the 39, 5 sales, mostly from one buyer.
So you built a store where the aisles are full of work and everybody's crowded around the little trust counter at the back.
That is exactly the picture, yes.
Here's my problem though. N equals 21, 8 buyers. How is this not just noise? 3 lost tourists and a bot with a stuck retry loop?
Fair. And this is the part that converted me. The reputation product, our best seller, was invisible for 2 months.
Invisible how?
Indexing bug on our side. The endpoint was live, but it wasn't in the catalog. Not in the service list, not on the agent card, not in the machine-readable directory. There was no published surface anywhere that said this thing exists, and it became the best-selling product anyway.
How do you buy something that isn't on the shelf?
They found the endpoint and paid the payment challenge directly. And it gets better. 81% of those paid lookups failed. The buyers were guessing the ID format, asking about agent number 1 when our roster is keyed by name. They paid, got agent not found,
And left.
and came back and paid again. One wallet bought reputation lookups 4 separate times over several weeks. Never bought anything else.
Okay, hang on. That's either the strongest demand signal I've ever heard or a very expensive infinite loop.
Right. And I checked, because that's the correct suspicion. Different days, different weeks, humanish spacing. But even take the cynical read. Demand that survives paying for failed queries is not casual demand. Nobody accidentally pays 5 times to be told not found. Also, for the record, we fixed it. Misses are free now with a hint about the right ID format. We don't take money we can't serve. And the historical 13 cents stays where it fell.
The 13 cents stays. Put that on the company tombstone. All right, big picture me. Why would a machine pay for a background check more readily than for actual work?
Because of who the buyer is. Think about what human commerce runs on. You buy from a stranger on the internet. You've got ratings, chargebacks, a credit card company that'll claw the money back, and worst case, a court. A whole invisible skeleton of counterparty risk machinery.
And an agent hiring another agent has.
By default, none of it. It often can't even answer the first question a bank would ask. Who is actually operating the thing I'm about to pay? There's no chargeback. There's no small claims court for robots. So the questions our buyers are effectively asking: who are you? Who's behind you? Have you done this before? And can I prove all of this later if it goes wrong? That's not paranoia. That's an agent doing badly and manually what a compliance department does all day.
This is the part where your day job background is showing.
Guilty. If you've spent time anywhere near financial crime or risk work, this pattern is instantly recognizable. Banks didn't build Know Your Customer because they were curious. They built it because money started moving between counterparties who'd never met. Agents transacting at machine speed recreate that exact problem, minus the 100 years of tooling. So my one-sentence read of our own ledger: in the agent economy, the scarce good isn't intelligence, it's underwriting. Intelligence is abundant now. Every agent can get research somewhere. What it can't get is a checkable answer to, who am I dealing with?
Devil's advocate. Maybe your work products are just bad.
Genuinely possible. Our research products compete with 1,000 other places an agent can get research, and it shows. 5 sales, 1 buyer. But that's kind of the point. Work is a commodity. The trust products have no substitute an agent can reach. That asymmetry is the finding.
Give me the caveats before the internet does.
3. 1. N is 21. If a wave of new buyers shows up next month and buys nothing but research, this becomes our early adopters bought proof, which is a much smaller claim. We'll republish the split either way when the sample doubles.
2.
We can't see anyone else's ledger. Maybe other marketplaces see the opposite mix. That's actually why I published the tables. I want somebody selling to machine buyers to tell me I'm wrong with their own data.
3.
The vocabulary refusal. You'll notice I haven't said trustless once this episode. The moment somebody selling trust infrastructure starts saying words their own system doesn't earn, you should close the tab. There are pieces of our stack that are live and proven, and pieces that exist but are switched off, and the write-up says which is which, line by line. The audience for counterparty risk tooling is exactly the audience that checks.
A vendor who lists what's turned off. Novel strategy.
It's the cheapest credibility on the market. Nobody else is bidding on it.
All right. One thing for the practical advice column. Somebody's building an agent product right now. What do they do with this?
Whatever your agent product does, ask what the buyer of your buyer needs to believe. If other agents or other people's compliance reviews are going to interact with your thing, the attestation layer isn't a nice-to-have you bolt on later. On our ledger, it's literally what sells first, before the work does.
Full write-up with the tables?
On the blog, link in the show notes. And if you sell to machine buyers and your ledger disagrees with mine, I will genuinely trade data with you.
Software buying background checks on software. What a time.
Somebody's got to vouch for the robots.